Hello, Martin. Hello, everybody. I see new name from the previous tour. I've just finished. Hey, Jill, you were there. Hello, Satyam. Hey, Hellas. Rebonjour. So somewhere with me, 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago. Hi, Tai, Michelle. So, and some are just arriving. Hello, Andrea. Hey, you back, Karen. That's great. Hello, Lily. So, my friend, in this tour, which is going to start in 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, we're going to explore the city of Paris in the Middle Age. And to explain the city of Paris in the Middle Age, we have to think about how was divided the city of Paris. And that's something very important because it's going to explain you and to make you understand exactly why we have got in Paris three parts which are very different and that we still have got nowadays. Okay? We're hearing children. Yes, both children, birds, and three things. You're correct. I was in a garden, so there was kids playing. There was animals next to me. So this tour I've just done before this tour, the tour of the Roman time of Paris. So we are, in fact, you see, we are in two tours. We are going to cover 1,500 years, even more than that, 1,800 years of the history of Paris. Wow. Very ambitious, no? And for that, you have to understand the big pictures, okay? So I'm going to start the tour by explaining you exactly how was Paris was divided. And then during the time of the tour, we are going to pass by these different locations and I'm going to explain you then precisely about each location. Yes, about the Sorbonne, not only, but also about the Sorbonne, absolutely. So everybody there, so I think I can start right now. So the first things I want to explain you is I'm going to show you two maps. If some of you were in the tour just previously, the weather, yes, the weather is absolutely wonderful. You see, look, oh, it's sun, oh, sun, sun. It's 18 degrees and it's 6 p.m. here in Paris. And we have got a bright uh, and very clear sky, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So you see, I walk in another garden now, calm. Look, people are, you see, people are having the pleasure of the of sunbathing a little bit, and I'm going to give you a few explanations first from this garden. So first, I'm going to give you the first explanation I want to give you. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to take my camera, and I'm going to show you two maps, which are for me, I think, very important. So let me show you that. That's the first map I was showing in my previous tour, which is the map of Paris during the time of the Roman. So this is Paris from 300 BC to 500 AD. So you've got here the island where nowadays Notre Dame is located. We will pass by that. we have got here the Latin Quarter, which in the Roman time was the city of the Roman. In that place, we have got the Roman Arena, hello Simon, that we just have been an hour ago. We have got the Roman Forum, which is now the Pantheon, and we have got here the terms of Cluny, which was the Roman bath. So that's the city in the Roman time. So what you can see immediately, you can see that on the right bank, what is now the right bank, it's in here, where we have got the city hall and all these things. In the time of the Roman city, we had nothing. So the population was all located in the left bank, in the what we call nowadays the Latin Quarter or the 5th district of Paris. Yep. Sorry, had an insect on me. And the houses were like that. That's the Roman houses. In 500, we are going to go to the Middle Age, going to start the Middle Age, so the 6th centuries, and we are going to have a king named Clovis who is going to completely change the city. First, what he's going to do. This is where nowadays we've got the city hall. I will come back to that later on. But what do you see here? You see the river, okay? And you see that side of the river, which is the right bank. At that time, we didn't have at all the same, the city wasn't at the same height. You see, at the time in the Middle Age, the city was at the level of the river. And we have got here the first harbor, which is in fact the left bank. So you see, exactly here. I just maybe do like that. Maybe it will be simple for me to point it. You see, where is my finger? Here. So where you see here, this is nowadays the right bank. You see, there was nothing at the Roman time, no harbor, just a street to go from south to north. And in the Middle Age, you see, they are going to build a harbor, and you see the city of Paris is at the level of the river. So it's been every year. Also, the river is flooding parts of Paris. Then the Roman city was like that, and in the Middle Age, we can completely change the cities. And in the Middle Age, the city of this is the house are they going to be in the Middle Age. That's what we call the Belize house. You see, this is a typical. So we pass from that in the Roman time, the villa with the bricks roof, quite low building, okay, 1 or 2 floors, to these buildings, which are going to be 5 to 6 floors, which are going to be built with cut stone on the ground floor, and then going to be built with timber, and on the top floor, and going to be from 5 to 6 floors. And the city of Paris is going to be enlarged like that. So you see, this is the island. Okay, at that time, you see Notre Dame is not built. This is the left bank. This is the place where we had the Roman city previously, and this is the right bank. So you see, in fact, all these parts which were not built at all during the Roman period, sorry, is going to be built at the Middle Age, and we are going to start building some other bridges. In the Middle Age, we have got 2 bridges, when in the Roman time we only have got 1 bridges. And you can see that the island of Saint Louis, which is here, is not at all. Was this originally a painting of the map? No, this is a 3D reconstitution. 3D. And let me show you. Okay. And so you see, at that time, this city, the Middle Age city, is going to be divided in 3 blocks. The right bank, the island, and the left bank. And these 3 blocks are going to be really dividing the city, the way the people are living. So the Roman time, the city where the people were living was in the left bank. At the Middle Age, the people where they are living are going to be the right bank. So you see, la ville, means the city, is going to be the right bank. Where we have got the city hall with Place de Grève. Place de Grève is the harbor, the one I showed you before. The island by itself, which is going to be the place of all the administration. And the left bank where I am, which is going to be the place of the university. And outside of that, you see here it's Abbaye de Saint-Germain-des-Prés. So it means outside of that, you start having the other place of Paris, which is nowadays Saint-Germain, the 6th district. But you see, at that time, it was just a kind of neighborhood of the city. So it's very important for you to understand during this tour that it was divided in 3 parts, and it's still divided nowadays in these 3 parts: the place where the people live, mainly, the place for the administration, the place to study. And here you see something written, La Sorbonne. So where all these people are going to study, we are going to open here the first university of Paris, which is La Sorbonne. And we are just in front of this place, La Sorbonne. So the building of La Sorbonne is going to be built in the 1200s, when the city by the university by themselves are going to start in the 11th. So it's mean for 200 years, the 10th centuries, the 11th centuries and the 12th centuries, so the 1000 and the 1100, the students are going to study in the streets. Then, at the time of the 1200, we are going to decide to build, it's okay, Jacqueline, hi. We are going to decide to build the Sorbonne. The building you see now, which is the nowadays building of the Sorbonne, is not the one from the 1200. The one from the 1200 has been destroyed and rebuilt in the 1500s by Cardinal de Richelieu to make that incredibly beautiful and majestic building. So nothing, in fact, is left from the original building from the 1200, apart of the fact that the location where that building is exactly the same where was the building in the 1200. And they just also, if I can say, enlarge a bit the building. So this is the University of Paris, La Sorbonne. No, I can't, because there is you. Maybe you can do on your laptop, but myself, I can't zoom. And so the students of La Sorbonne, do you know the secret of the students of La Sorbonne? They have got a little secret. Do you know that? Which is not dating from the Middle Age, because that statue were not existing in the Middle Age, but which is dating from after. Oh, they riot. That's not a secret. No, you're right, LS. At the origin, in the Middle Age, they were only men. But after that, there was men and women. And you know, that's quite funny, because there is a kind of legend which is absolutely not true, okay? But there is a kind of legend which says, you see here, you have got statue. I can't zoom on it, okay? But maybe you can do it. Each of these statues represents one of the subjects that you learn in the Sorbonne. For instance, you see you have got history, mathematics, um, philosophy, and you arrive to this one, which is in fact geography. Especially Sarah, especially humanities in the Sorbonne, not really specialized for mathematics, or not special. It's not very science. It's more like or human science. You see more humanity, philosophy, literature, that kind of things. So, at the time of the Sorbonne, we have got 8 subjects. So, you see, archaeology, philosophy, geography, history, mathematics, and so on. 8 subjects. And each of these subjects was represented by a lady. And there is a legend that said that this subject was the less interested by the people. Nobody wanted to go to that subject. That subject is geography. And maybe as at that time, I just said that because LS said about that the fact there was no ladies, and as it was mainly boys which were in the university, they said in fact that they made the lady topless. You see, all the other statues, they are completely closed, but that one, she's topless. And they say, okay, maybe it was the way to attract the male student to go to this subject. Of course, it's a completely false legend, okay? But I love to say that because it's. I couldn't. If I say it very seriously, I think some people would believe me. But no, I don't think it is. It is not really for that. But for true, this is the only one who has got a topless ladies. No, this is not the little secret of Sorbonne. The little secret of Sorbonne is this man, this statue here. This hello, that man is named Montaigne. Have you heard about Montaigne? Of course, Alice. I just studied geography because I saw that topless lady. Sorry. So you know Montaigne? Okay. I know La Fontaine. No, Montaigne is a philosopher. Yes, Michel de Montaigne. Absolutely. He's a philosopher and he was a Protestant man at the time of Henry IV. And he was teaching at La Sorbonne. So a great philosopher and also an incredible Parisian. He said, so his name is Montaigne, and he said, you see, Paris to my heart since my childhood. I'm only French because of this big city, which is incomparable in variety. The glory of the French and one of the most noble ornaments of the world. He speaks about Paris. You see, this is a really love declaration of Paris, saying I'm French because I'm Parisian. If Paris was in England, I would be English. So that man is Montaigne. But what that statue is important for, what do you think the students do? They come before the exam and they come to the statue to make a wish because Montaigne can help you to pass the exam. And let me show you, this is not a legend. You see, the student come here and they touch the feet and they raise the hand to Montaigne and they say, please, Montaigne, help me to pass the exam. Of course, if you ask to a student, have you been doing that? The student is going to say no. You can imagine they come here at night, they put the hood on the head, and they touch it. And if they succeed, of course, the students say, "Oh, it's because I've studied I studied a lot." And if they failed, they say, "Gosh, I should have made the wish to Montaigne. Maybe it would have been better." I don't believe it. They do believe it. As I told you, if they pass, they think it's not because of the wish, but because of their work. And if they don't pass and if they don't make the wish, they just regret not to have made the wish. So by precaution, let's make the wish. It doesn't cost a lot. So we speak about the Middle Age, and so we are in front of the Museum of Cluny, and the Museum of Cluny is the Museum of the Middle Age. A very interesting museum where we have got a very interesting set of tapestry, which is named the Tapestry of the Lady with the Unicorn. And this building is a complete representation of a Middle Age castle in the earth of Paris. And that building is standing right in front of La Sorbonne. You see the entrance of the building. We tried to make a tour inside. They reopened in mid-May. We see if the signal is good because during the COVID that was closed, and so it has been closed for nearly 3 years. So I couldn't go inside. So I don't know if the signal is good or not inside. So Cluny, I'm going to show you the name, and you see it's standing right in front of the Sorbonne. Or Sorbonne is thank you, Bridget. Or Sorbonne is standing in front of it. I don't know. You decide who is standing in front of the eggs or the chicken first. Decide. And it was a place for the abbey. And you see, it's called National Museum of Middle Age, Cluny. So we are in 1200. The Sorbonne University is starting. The building is going to be renovated in 1500, meaning the Renaissance. That's the end of our storytelling. So we are going to go reverse time, okay? So we are going to go back, not in 1500, but we are going to go back from 1500 to the 500, okay? So let's go back in the time. Let's how can I say that? Let's rewalk. I don't know if you say that in English. Rewalk, time travel, yes, in the past, from 1500 to 500. So we leave the museum, the Sorbonne, we leave the Museum of Cluny, and we arrive into the gardens. Bonjour, hello. Hello, you. You speak English? A little. You bow in English. You want to look at my camera. What's the name? Rose. Hello, Rose. Hello. Yeah, very, very. Oh, you jump very well. Have a good afternoon. Bye bye, Rose. So you see, we walk by the Cluny Museum. We are on the side of the Cluny Museum. Look, they still have got some guards. These guards are very efficient, you know, because they don't they don't attack you with a sword, but they attack you with their poof. And you know, that's terrible. If you are just standing here and if they, you know, that the best guard you can have. This awful pigeon. Oh, look, this is the time of love. Look, that one here. That the male. Look at how the males are making a big size, you know, because they are trying to attract the ladies. Yes, yes. Look, there is a little ladies here. Oh, that's funny. This is the love. This is the love time. Look, there is a ladies in the middle, and there is two men in competition. And you see the men are making such a big neck to show how powerful and how sexy they are. But look how the ladies in the middle don't care at all about them. Ah, terrible, terrible. So what's happened in that time? From the year, from the 11th century to the 13th centuries, where the people are going to make the school, the University of Paris, because the University of Paris starts in the year 1000. So what's going to happen for 200 years? In fact, they are going to give the lecture exactly where I am. They are going to give the lecture in the garden, in the streets, or when it's rains, inside the stables or inside the churches. And who is going to be the teacher? The teacher are going to be monk and priest. What does it mean? It means that they are going to teach in Latin because the priests at that time and all the educated people are speaking in Latin. The Latin is the language of the educated people, from the nobility, from the upper class. So the students, of course, they are not from poor family. The students come from different parts of the nobility. So these students, they can come from all over the world, or especially all over Europe, and all of them, in fact, are speaking. You see, we are at the underground station Cluny-Sorbonne, Cluny-Sorbonne. So all these students, in fact, are speaking Latin. So as they don't have a proper building, as I said, they are going to be located in the garden. And the students don't go to a teacher like if he was going to a certain theme. In fact, they are following the knowledge of one teacher, of one monk. So some monks, which are very well educated, are very famous. And these monks are giving, are sharing their knowledge with the people in the street. So what's happened for that? The rest of the population, the normal Parisian, the non-educated, which were the large majority of the people, where are they? In fact, they are walking in Paris. They are walking in the street like we walk now. And suddenly they arrive and they see a group of people which are together and which are listening to a priest, and they are all speaking in Latin. What does it mean by that? It means the people are going to say, here is the Latin Quarter. That's from where the name Latin Quarter comes from, just simply because the Parisian, the people of the city of Paris, passing by the street where we are now, are seeing groups of people which are split in the street, speaking, listening, and making a lesson in Latin. And of course, they don't understand anything. So they said, this is the Latin Quarter. And we have got in the year 2022 the same name for this, the nickname for this district in Paris, which is in fact the 5th district. We still say, let's go to the Latin Quarter. And I'm going to show you how sometimes the priests were giving the lecture, because here, if you Google it, or I can't show you, but you can Google it. If you Google an image, if you say Latin Quarter on Google, if you say Rue Galande, I show you the name. Look at that building here. This building here, okay? That one. Where it's written Rue Galande. Where it says pizza. Okay, Rue Galande. Rue Galande, pizza. You Google Rue Galande, Middle Age, Latin Quarter, and you say the studying, you see the university, and you may find, if you do the right research, you may find a drawing which has been made by one of the students in here. So the students were standing in the street all over there, and that's what you see on this drawing, and they are having hay stack, you know, the hay stack from the wheat. So they use this hay stack like a desk, in fact, or like a chair. They are sitting in the street here, and they are listening the teachers, which is giving the lecture from this window. And that, because that building is from the Middle Age. So you can't find that on internet if you Google it. Of course, I can't show you because the drawing is very bad quality. It has been done with a charcoal pencil, and it's a very, very poor quality. But it's very interesting to see that. And you see the street next to here, it's called Rue Dante, because Rue Dante, which is of course the Italian poet, okay, the famous Italian poet who lived in the 13th and the 14th centuries, was a student here in Paris. And we are here in the streets of the Middle Age of the Latin Quarter. If anybody finds the link I said, please put it on the tour, because myself, I can't add any link. And in this street in Rue Galande, we have got a very famous, from that time, you have got a very famous, it's not a sculpting, it's a bas-relief. Well, I don't know how to say bas-relief in English, sorry for that. It's kind of sculpting here, you see. This is coming from the church, which is in front of Notre Dame. And that's the Studio Galante, one of these movie theaters. No, surely. he taught her more physically, no? Abella, yes. Ooh. Welcome to Paris, the city of love. So let's carry on our tour in the Middle Age, and more we go down, more we go to the time of the 6th centuries, the time of the original Paris. Yeah, she has private tuition. Yes, yes, and she learned how to make a baby. I don't know if the name is Jean-Pierre, to be honest, but it's you see, it's a very it's a drawing, a hand drawing, and you see the student in the street, and you see a teachers. It's black and white, and you see the teachers, which is at the windows. Yes, yes, we are very close from Odette. So you see the monk were there. You see, so you see that this is an old wheels. So that is dating from the Middle Age. Okay, so you have to imagine that where we are standing right now in the Middle Age, in the year 1000, the University of Paris was standing here. Okay, in the street. Sorbonne arrived only in 1200. Imagine also, and that's something that not imagine, but you can think about that. You can think that Paris is the only very important capital in the world from important countries. I mean, if I compare to America, to Canada, to England, to Germany, to Spain, to Italy. I mean, some of the, I don't want to be offending anybody about the country, so I'm not going to say the other country are not important, but I just mean the important country in the Middle East, the European countries. And then after that, the important country from the new continent as in America, for instance, Paris is the only capital which has got university. Okay, Harvard is not in Washington. Okay, Columbia is not in Washington. Oxford is not in is not in London. Cambridge is not in London. And I could say that like that for all the countries, but Paris, all the universities are located here in Paris. So we are in front of the church Saint-Julien-le-Pauvre, which is a Romanesque church, which is, of course, dating from that period, okay, from the year 1000. And so the students were either in the garden here or in the church if it was how many university Paris? So nowadays we've got 13 universities in Paris, which are numbered from 1 to 13. Very simple. The first one, Sorbonne, number 1. The last one, Saint-Denis, 13. So like that, and the university get the numbers by order of creation. And they are all university are public, meaning free. Then you've got a business school, which are paying. But if you go, for instance, to University Dauphine, you are going to go to the best French university for economy and finance, and that you can be like Macron, president of France, because Macron didn't go to a private school but went to the Paris Dauphine, so the public university. Then, of course, you can also go to private school, to private business school like HEC or some other school, and that then you have to pay. But if you go to the public system, it's free. They are free not only for the French, they are free for all the European countries. So now English have to pay. Because English is not anymore in the EC, isn't it? Okay, Christine, bye bye. So, of course, when we speak about the Middle Age, the gems of the Middle Age in Paris is the Cathedral Notre Dame. So I'm not going to do a long speech about Notre Dame because I've got a special tour which is about Notre Dame and the history of the renovation of Notre Dame. So I'm not going to speak about it, but of course I cannot speak about the Middle Age and forget Notre Dame. And I wanted to show you an image of how was Notre Dame in the Middle Age, because when we see Notre Dame, we always think nowadays that we have got the huge open square in front of Notre Dame that we call le Parvis de Notre Dame. But you have to imagine that in the Middle Age, Notre Dame was completely surrounded by houses, completely surrounded. And it's only in 1860 that Napoleon III with Osman are going to decide to destroy all the houses which are in front of Notre Dame. Yes, Sorbonne is free. Well, you have to pay 350 euro per year for fees inscription. But if you are coming from a poor family, you can even have the reimbursement of these 350 euros. So we can nearly consider that Sorbonne is free, yes. So let me show you how Notre Dame in the Middle Age. First, I'm going to cross the street here to pass by Notre Dame. We are at the best time of the day to see Notre Dame. Why the best time of the day? Because the sun is setting in the south here. I mean, south, not the south, but the west. But at that time, it is in the southwest. So the sun is just very low, and the sun is projecting his sunrise on the cathedral, and it's giving you the golden hours of the Cathedral of Notre Dame, which is absolutely impressive. Yes, in 2024, I will be able to bring you in Notre Dame. Woo! And have a look in couples of seconds to Notre Dame. Low relief. Okay, thank you, Helen. Look at that. This is really golden hours for Notre Dame. Yes, yes, yes. All the low windows, side low windows have been are replaced, but not the front one and not the third floor one. And look how was Notre Dame in the Middle Age. You see, in front of Notre Dame, this is Notre Dame in the Middle Age, surrounded by huge numbers of houses. Notre Dame was completely surrounded by houses, not at all how we see today. And you see, it was painted too. You see all the houses here? And in 1860, Napoleon III, with Osman, destroyed all these houses and built new houses. You see, Osmanian building, and they destroyed all the houses from the front. But on the other hand, they dig the center, and by digging the center, they arrived to open the museum of the crypt of Notre Dame. And that's also very interesting. Yes, from here you see Notre Dame is hiding it's wounded or her wounded. So you don't see if I hide the crane, because there is a crane here. But then if I hide the crane, then you think there is Notre Dame has no wounded, no? Uh, yes, in a certain sense, but at that time the government of the king, and the king was not really. I mean, in 1860. Sorry, I thought you meant in the Middle Age. Yes, yes, they paid, but the house was such in a bad condition that they paid for nothing, and so the people who get the money from that, after that, they couldn't buy or go to the new houses, which were too expensive for them. And you see, if once, when it's going to reopen, we are waiting, eagerly waiting that reopens. We go to see the crypt archaeologique, which is here. And if you go to the crypt archaeologique, you will discover Paris from the underneath. You will discover that under our feet, okay, under here, just under here, we have got the Roman and gold city. So everything is here. All the houses are underneath. I mean, the walls of the houses. Yes, they paid peanuts. And as the people were not monkey, they were not so happy with the peanuts. So, my last part of the tour is I want to show you the place where we have got the city hall for you to understand the last part. So we've seen the part of the university, isn't it? We have seen where the people were studying in the street in the Sorbonne later on. And here we are in the middle of the island. So that's where we have got all the administrative buildings. And we have got, of course, the cathedral, which is going to represent the clergy. And we have got, on the other side, we have got the place where we have got the court of justice, which is also the conciergerie. And the conciergerie is the place where the king was living before he moved to the Louvre. So before the king moved to the Louvre, he was using the big court of justice and the palace of the king built in the early Middle Age to welcome the King of France. Not at all, Helen. The catacombs are in the 14th district of Paris. And the catacomb, I'm going to do a tour there. In fact, a virtual tour from home, because I have to see because I've been there for you and I have been filming there. So then I've done many little movie, and then I will make a live tour from home showing the movie and explaining the catacomb, okay? Because there is no signal, of course, under the earth. No, the catacombs are in the 14th district. So the building you see over there, this is the court of justice, the conciergerie, where Marie Antoinette, for instance, has been put in court and also in the jail during the time of the French Revolution. And this court of justice is also the first king palace. So when Clovis took the power here, we had at the place where we have now the conciergerie, you have to imagine that we had the Roman palace from the representative of the emperor. And then the King of France used that building, but completely changed the building and built a new building on the top of it. And this new building is going to be called conciergerie. Conciergerie is like when you have got the concierge at the hotel, the man who is keeping the key. And in the Middle Age, the concierge was a very important title. It means it was the man in charge of the key of the royal castle. So the concierge. The Sainte-Chapelle is going to be built by the King Louis IX, so a little bit later, 400 years later, going to be built by the King Louis IX to hold the holy throne crown from the Christ. So now we've crossed the island. So we arrived in the Middle Age, in the last part of the city, this place where the people are living, the place where the people are, we call la cité, okay? And you see la cité in the Middle Age, the center of that is going to be here, which is nowadays the town hall, the city hall. And remember the image I showed you at the beginning of the tour? I'm going to show it to you again. Here it is. You see, I'm exactly at the same location of here. So you can see that in the Middle Age, the city were not at that level, but the city was at that level. And here was the harbor of Paris. And the place in front of the city hall was the place where the merchants were making the first open air market. So you see the harbor was arriving right here. They were taking off from the boat all the goods, the food, and everything which was going to be sold. And in the middle here, in the middle here, we have got the harbor. So you see, exactly like here. And at the origin here, we have got a very old houses, which are going to be changed by the man who is going to be the chief at the Union of the Merchants. And let me show you this little movie, if you don't mind. I'm going to show you how the building has been built. I mean, the building of the, not the city hall, but the former one. Let me show you that. Here it is. Watch that little movie. It's a 3D reconstruction of the building, you see, which was the building before the the city hall. Look at that. It's a very nice 3D reconstruction. You see, that was the first building, the first city hall, which has been replaced in the 1500 by that city hall. So that is the Renaissance, so the end of the Middle Age. But what I showed you before, it was in the Middle Age. And so now the right bank, which is facing us, this is, I show you back again the floor map I show you at the beginning of the tour. You see, we are here on the Place de Grève. Here, Place de Grève, it is this location. So you see that where in the Middle Age, the people are going to live. And you see that the floor map of the city in the Middle Age. So, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this tour, explaining you from 1500 to 500 to the first, from the Roman period, then when Paris has been replaced by the Clovis, by the first king of France, and how Paris is going to change completely the urbanism, having not only two parts, like in the Roman time, the island and the left bank, but going to have three parts, the left bank, the island, and the right bank. I'm going to change the destination. The right bank is going to be the place where the people are living and where the industry, the banking, the food market are going to open. The island is going to be the place for the administration, and the left bank, the Latin Quarter, is going to be the place for the knowledge. From the year 1000, we start the open air university. 1200, we built the Sorbonne. 1500, we rebuilt the Sorbonne. So I hope you know a little bit more about the history of Paris in the Middle Age, and to understand a little bit more why Paris has got such a diverse vision, and it's still divided in three parts nowadays. And that's why when you speak to a Parisian and when you speak about the left bank, he's always going to think, oh, this is the cultural place of Paris. That's come from the Middle Age and the university. And if you speak to a Parisian about the right bank, he's going to say, oh, that's the place where the people make money. That's come from the Middle Age, where we start opening the market and all the trading place in the right bank. So my friend, thank you so much to have been with me. Take great care of yourself. Enjoy yourself. And myself, I'm going to say to you, bye-bye. I will see you on Saturday, and not tomorrow, not Friday. Friday, I drive to Brittany. And Saturday, I will be in Brittany, in the little harbor of Erquy, on the Côte de Pantheon, to show you a new location in Brittany. So hope you will join me at 4 p.m. Saturday, 4 p.m. Saturday, Brittany. Check on my channel. And if you are not following the channel, do not hesitate to follow the channel, so like that you will be informed about all the tours that I'm putting on. Thank you so much to have been with me. Thank you so much for your donation, of course, because we live with your donation, so it's important for us. And if you enjoy the tour and if you want to leave a 5-star, do not hesitate. It's a new tour, so you can always leave a review on the platform. Part of that, thank you so much to have been with me. Paris is beautiful. Paris is great weather, and Paris is going to be in the sunset in 1 hour. It's going to be fantastic. Take a great care of yourself. Thank you so much. Bye bye, my friend.